What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? We got Bishop Nathan Wilson here from the Gnostic Union. We got Reverend Father Lorenzo in Rebirth. What's going on, fellas?
How's it going?
Many blessings. Good to be here. And now you should introduce yourself as now Bishop.
Oh yeah, Bishop. Yeah. So today, how about y'all tell them? Because I don't know how to.
Well, we're the Gnostic Union together. We're all together here. Father Lorenzo, me, Bishop Nathan, and now Bishop Tyrone. We were also meant to have Bishop Randall here, but he's unfortunately not able to make it, or he might join in later. He might be currently asleep or busy. So we wanted to discuss together the future of the Gnostic Union, which was previously the Gnostic Catholic Union, and I was a bishop doing studies under there. And now I've been placed in charge, so I've changed the name into Gnostic Union. We're dropping the Catholic stuff, and we're going to rearrange the courses. Father Lorenzo here is making up the website, and we've just created a YouTube channel, which will have videos going on there shortly. If Father Lorenzo would like to show a little bit of the first page, if you know how to do the screen thing, you're welcome to do that.
Let me see. I'll adjust with the transitioning here. So this is just the front page. I'm not sure if you can see it completely.
Yeah, the whole thing's shown, which is beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah, some things don't work, so we've got all this. So degrees and certificates will eventually be changed around and shown. We also have some blogs that have little bits of information.
Chat. There's a little chat, so you can say, "Oh." People could come on and like it. There's the community page where people click on my name, my posts will show up.
And you can read these blogs for history as well. I also put down 2 as well.
Yeah, we'll go to blogs. And you'll see these are Nathan's.
You know what's so cool about this?
And then you
can
see
other people. It's so cool to see other people create things where they want to share what they've learned. And then what's really cool is that you guys want to actually talk to other individuals too. It's not like you're saying, hey, this is what I know, and I'm not going to talk to you about it. But you guys actually want to talk to and bring people in and all that other stuff.
Yeah, and Gnosticism, it shouldn't be, straight on scripture alone. It should consist of all wisdom documents, like Buddhism, the Tao Te Ching, Hinduism, and the Vedas, and Bhagavad Gita, and pretty much all sacred scriptures should be considered. All wisdom is necessary. It's not like you can read the Bible and that's the end all of knowledge. Gnostics, nowadays are scholars of all different sorts, like who specialize in all different avenues of knowledge. Etymology, archaeology. All kinds of different avenues that somebody can be considered a Gnostic, and their knowledge is adept to their unique field. Like I'm a web developer, I'm a web developer, and I read and write code,
And we're lucky to have you for that as well.
I study a profession for which there is no real name.
Let me ask you. So, a lot of people that know me, and it's because of my wife. She put me on dictionaries and stuff. Y'all know that already. So I always try to go back to the dictionary or the origins of the word and stuff. What is Gnostic? What is a Gnostic to you? What does Gnostic mean?
Well, Gnostic comes from the term gnosis, being knowledge, inward knowledge, spiritual knowledge, knowledge that is within you. So someone that was a Gnostic would be someone in the pursuit of spiritual knowledge that is within them.
Yeah, there's also the word epignosis, which is the knowledge of God, and
Yeah.
is more intellectual knowledge, but also has to do with divine knowledge as well.
You'll also ask
what?
one person one thing and then another person another. You'll get another response on what they believe Gnosticism is.
Yeah,
Because you.
yeah, I already know that
We want to
because
bring people together. I
yeah,
also want to discuss some things regarding our courses too, because we're going to have a Bachelor of Theology, a Doctor of Ministry, and then we're going to have, a Master's of Ministry, and then a Doctor of Ministry, which is the last one, which will leave you open to become a bishop. We will first take you through the deaconhood, to which will take you through the Nag Hammadi library, several texts such as the Gospel of Thomas. We'll ask you to do a review, an essay on them, discuss your feelings on the text, your understandings of them. And then on the master's degree, we will move on to something more advanced, being my translations of the Gospels and also of the Gospel of Thomas and Mary. From here, you'll be able to see the Bible spelling mistakes, its alternative translations, and really deconstruct any old brainwashing and to give you a new understanding, not only a new understanding, but give you the power of the choice of a way that you read the text and how it stands out to you, as I'll provide the alternative translations for you that you can also double check. Some words or sentences, I should say, they rearranged, so I rearranged it back into a more Gnostic fitting. Some words, for instance, they rearranged so much that they butchered it, thus making it no longer an actual translation, but their work of fiction, because they wanted to censor the Gnosticism within it. So I bring the Gnostic elements back to the Gospels, as these Gospel accounts had many Gnostic influences in them and words, meanings, which were censored heavily in English text and even more censored when they translated from the Greek into Latin. So the Latin language is different and different meanings. So we're taking you back to the sources, which is what a Gnostic does. It goes to the source.
Yeah, a Gnostic is a knower, someone
Yes.
who is knowledgeable.
And for the bishop, one for be a bishop after this is their doctorate course will be a practical work, not based on books, but based on a heads-on approach. So you take in what you've learned through the previous courses, and then you work side by side with me, Bishop Nathan, Bishop Tyrone, and Father Lorenzo will be doing podcasts for about a year for, say, once a month, or if you have a busy schedule, that can be rearranged to, say, once every 2 or 3 months or something. We'll do that for a year. And this will also allow you to gain some recognition within other groups. Our degrees will be only recognized by us and our affiliate ministries or alliance ministries that we have.
Let me ask you something. Why did you want to start? Why did you want to start this? Because there's so many people out there that want to give knowledge, and they want to do I guess the bare minimum to get the easiest information that they can. So why is this something different? Because I do know you. I've been definitely talking to you for like the last 2 years. I guess we just been having discussions, and I just met you maybe a few months ago, Lorenzo, and you guys, I guess, apparently been talking about doing this for a while. And I told you guys I'll love to help you guys, because like what I like to do is just share knowledge. You asked me would I want to be part of this, and I said yeah, because you wanted me to share what books I've read or share the sources that I've read and stuff like that. So that was a big part of why you guys asked me. And yeah, I love to do that. That's why I have on my website a whole section of all the books that I have. And when I go through my YouTube channel, I I can go through every so often, once a week, a book that I've read. And I was just right before we started this, I was just talking about all these labels and stuff like that, right? So describe what a bishop is, a deacon is, and all that stuff for from what from the Gnostic side and from the origins, because like I said, I like to stick with the definitions, because that's the only way that I understand. Is that anything outside of that kind of confuses me.
Kind of 2 questions, so I can answer both. In regards to why I want to keep the organization is because the old organization most likely would have fallen apart. So I kept it going. And in response, what makes this different is, one, you also give things meaning, but what makes this different to other courses or another organization is you won't be charged for it. This will be free, and I made it within your means to do so, so you will not be judged due to your income. Jesus hung out with the ones who are poor. Now, another thing is what makes this different to this organization that we're going to be starting is it gives you an influence as well. So you're not just working with someone, but you're also gaining recognition that you can start your own thing or continue to work with us as well, which is what we also hope. And we can start basically a chain of reactions of more people interested in doing such things like this, to make their own channels as well, to discuss Gnosticism, to bring it more into the mainstream, to bring more enlightenment into this world, I would also say as well, which is what I truly believe. And with the old titles, if you will, these are what they are, titles of deacons, priest, bishop. These were ones that I carried on from the previous organization, though I limited some of the courses based around the actual sources, not based on other people's work, but based on the sources themselves. Now, so really that's basically what really is. It's just a bit of recognition that you can say, hey, I've achieved something, that I got recognized by this.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people look for that, and you know,
Yes.
it's interesting you say that because I'm not even gonna lie. When I first started this 4.5 years ago, and I had already shared what a bishop is and stuff like that, and we've already talked about it. You guys always mention that you guys are guardians or protectors of knowledge, right? That's basically what you both always say, and I highlighted that because that's what you know. Like I said, I talked to you guys about this before. And you know, I like to piss people off with words. I just love to. I don't know why. It's because it just will you change your mind when you hear something new what somebody just told you, right? And it's up to you then, right? So, but you said that it's free, right? A lot of people, you know, they always want some money for something. That's going to be a thing. And then you said the most important is to make sure you felt like you achieved something. Now I want to be 100% honest with you. Like I said, when I started my website 4.5 years ago, the first thing that I wanted to do was, because I was going to be talking about the pyramids and ancient history a lot, and especially ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia. I made sure that I went to www.edx.org, took an online class from Harvard, right? I'm not even kidding, Joe. I know it's funny as shit, but I took a class from Harvard, and I actually passed the class, and I got a certificate that says that I'm knowledgeable on ancient Egypt and the pyramids, right? And it's pretty funny because I know a lot of people will say, oh, it's just a certificate. But I took a class that took me 6 weeks to take, and I passed it, and I learned a lot from it. So fuck you, I achieved something, right? So yeah, I get what you're saying when you say
another thing too I want to mention too is with degree stuff, when you mentioned it's just a certificate. Say you have a Catholic priest, and then you have an Orthodox priest, and then you have a Protestant priest. They all have a certificate. They're going to say, we don't recognize that certificate within our organization. So they knock off everyone else's work. We're not going to do that. We'll take that into account. We'll still recognize you as a bishop or a priest within that organization. If you want to join us, you might have to go through the longer process, but we will not discredit your work. We will welcome everyone.
I took a computer science class from Harvard that I torrented.
But no,
well, a lot of my courses on the Union were online as well, and then hands-on approach as well. I was made bishop because of my recognition within the Gnostic world, and because of my charity works that I do as well. I don't always brag about them. I show little bits. So if you actually watch when I do charity work, I've mentioned the names of the person who does.
I know, that's why I said I know you. I know you for at least 2 years. You do definitely do charity. I know when you published your book.
Unless they ask me not to release their names, then I won't. So,
you know. But no, I really think achievement. Everybody wants to feel like they achieved something, right? Yes. But some people put their achievements higher than others, and that's why you have the PhDs over the masters, over the bachelors, over the, you know.
Well, I haven't got a PhD, and I'm smarter than most people that do. I'm a step under it, but within the Gnostic Union.
What I'm saying is that if I want to know about history, I don't. History, the past hasn't really changed, and if it does, there's going to be big news in the history world, right? It's like a new movie that comes out from your favorite, director. You're always going to know when your favorite director puts something out because you're going to be following. So when new information comes out, you can update yourself. What I'm saying is that like you use the word bishop, and like I said, I've heard you both talk plenty of times, and you both always talked about how you are guardians of knowledge, and that's because Gnostic is knowing knowledge and so on and so forth and stuff like that. And I know quite a few people, and you know me, Nathan. I've talked to so many different people from, and you too now, Lorenzo, from when you was telling me about dang, what's his name? Jesus, I can't even remember his name right now. But the dude that you was telling me about that said that he blocked you. I don't think I would block anybody that has information, especially if they may have a little bit of information that I might have. I won't block them. But
You know what his name is? Doesn't matter what his name is.
but no, what I'm saying though is, you know, there's a lot of information out there, and a lot of people have a lot of pride and ego in what they know. You know what I'm saying? They if you study something for 20, 30, 40 years, and somebody that came out of the woodworks studied it maybe less or more than you won't know, and probably doesn't have the same credentials as you. But if they bring something else to the table, most people won't take that information in. That's why there's so many arguments about what is still questionable. Like I talked about ancient Egypt and ancient in history and stuff like that. Well, they said that there was iron back in the past. I mean, iron is even mentioned in the Bible, and we know the Abrahamic faith goes back at least to 2000 BC, right? Depending on which parts of the Bible you read, it depends on when that iron was around. But the point is they talk about this stuff, so it's not far fetched to think that they had iron to build the pyramids because they did. Whoever said they've used copper to build the pyramids, it sometimes just blows my mind. You know what I'm saying? Because who says that, and why do you believe that? You know, if the actual history actually says otherwise, and science also says otherwise. So that's why I was just wondering because you know, um, for Gnostics, just like you were saying, Nathan, different people will have different opinions of what a Gnostic is. We know that from there was an individual when you first came to Twitter X. We was on the space together, and
Yeah.
he said what not you said what a Gnostic was, and he said no, is this, and then everybody jumped on him and actually said that you were right, and he got mad and he blocked everybody and left and all this
He
other stuff.
offered $10,000 or whatever it was, or
Yeah,
something silly.
he bet Nathan like $10,000 that he knows what Gnostic, and I was like, bro,
Yeah, I accepted it. No worries. The time I'd give it all to charity, and I'd give some to you, for transferring it over to me.
Also,
So
I gotta add, all the
nothing.
books in the world are meaningless if you fail to know yourselves.
Yeah.
Like Socrates was considered the wisest man of his time because he understood the extent of his ignorance. He, basically, he was the one who stated, what do you say? I know that I know nothing, you know. And he also quoted a famous quote that's attributed to Socrates is "Know thyself." So, all the books in the world they really don't mean anything if you don't understand who you are and your purpose in your life. And also Socrates was known as a midwife of someone who helped people give birth to themselves. Um, so yeah, this really the Gnostic is one who has awakened to himself, who has what is called anamnesis, which is the opposite of amnesia, which is is basically the loss of forgetfulness. When you finally wake up and you know yourself, you realized who you really are. And
There's something else I want to mention too, by the way, regarding our courses. The reason why I want to base the works around my translations as well, which I translate from the Codex Sinaiticus. Now, this text is of the 4th century. If you can put the screen back on, Tyrone, for a second as well, I want to show something. It's regarding my manuscripts, actually.
Yep,
So I can bring this up because this is important for a lot of Christians too. They should understand this stuff. So they read the Gospel of John. The Gospel of John that they're familiar with is, again, the version that they're reading is a 4th century text, but they're not, in most cases, reading the Greek version. They're reading the Latin version. That's even later. But that's the oldest copy we have of the Greek fragment of the Gospel of John. That's of the 2nd century. So they're not reading that. And so I'm taking them to the original complete text. That's still not the original text itself. It's still copied from other copies. And you still, because of this, you're going to an earlier copy, you're seeing so much Gnostic elements with it. You cannot escape it. And that's why you will develop an understanding of why the Christian world started using Latin, which is why I want to take you through those courses too. And so that way you can actually see for yourself, not just have my understanding. No. Because of the alternative translations, you build your own understanding, which is what I really want. I want intellectuals and good-hearted people in the group. I want quality, not quantity.
Yeah,
I hope to start a chain reaction like this of all of us.
So I've kind of developed this concept for myself and my own knowledge is the concept of the page master, where you can hand one book to somebody and they can read it, but if they don't have like a mystical mind and like that open mind, a spiritual insight, the book is just a book. But someone who has that insight, they can read a book and that book can cause major transformation within that person. So like it's all about how you receive that knowledge too. Like when I'm sure you've seen in movies, I'm not sure if it's like Harry Potter or whatever, but they'll open up a book and the pages are blank, but like but like when they realize something and that something happens in the movie, then all of a sudden these the words appear. Like there's that idea that like in that book in the right hands will have magic and have it'll cause a great transformation within that person who possesses the book. And that's my idea of like the page master, someone who is can read a book and have some alchemical transformation happening inside of them, like a mystical insight that occurs. And
which is also what we want to encourage.
Yeah, and reading the Gospels is like that. When you read the Gospels, there's some people go, I don't get it, or it doesn't attract them in such a way. But when you have a mystical mind and you read the Gospels, you receive it in such a way where it's like now your mind is blown.
That's another reason why I also want them to read the Nag Hammadi first before taking on my course of my translations, especially to read the Gospel of Thomas. As I mentioned before, those complete texts in the Gospels of the 4th century, say if you go read the Greek Gospel of Thomas, that's of the early 1st century. If you go to the Coptic, that's around the 3rd or 4th. But it's still older than these complete texts. And that Gospel of Thomas in Coptic was copied from the earlier Greek text, and that Greek text we have was copied from the original that possibly, and is the only text that can claim this within Christianity, of a Christian text that was written possibly when Jesus was still alive and would explain these are the words of the living Jesus, meaning that while he was still alive, these words came out of his mouth when it was written.
Yeah,
some scholars believe the Gospel of Thomas was written by Jude, Thomas' brother. Not Thomas, right? Jesus' brother.
You read the Gospel of Thomas, it's very much like the Tao Te Ching. It's like these sayings that cause great transformation within the reader, but it really depends on the way that reader can receive that information and the wisdom, if they can like soak up that wisdom. Some people if they might just not get it, but it really depends on how a person can receive that information. Um, wisdom to the ignorant sounds like foolishness.
But yeah, I reckon in regards to this, I reckon we could end this very shortly as well. I might mention one more thing is one reason I do hope to bring in group discussions of, say, hopefully 6 different people of Gnostics that within
So
the union.
that's what you that's what you want to do. You want to this is like part of it. You want we got to make this clear for everybody. Listen, he wants to bring everybody that has something in here and have these discussions to share. Because the reason why I wanted to cut you off and ask you about that when you said your translations. You know how I am. Everybody says they have their translations. You know how much
I also provide the original too.
Yeah, so you back up what you say, so you can sit down with that person and say, "Hey, this is why I said with this because of this, that, and the third." And if that person was to bring something different to you, you would be like,
they have
okay,
the ability to do so because the text is provided to them. So they can go to the Greek, check it out for themselves, frustrate over it, and find it for themselves.
okay, yeah, that's good because that's part of the reason why you guys wanted me to be on the team is because I have the stream yard and I have the streaming capabilities and I can host it and I'm more like the mediator. I just bring the books, like you said. Hey, what books would talk about fallen angels, and I can get you so many books, and I can give you what I've read personally, what the ancient texts say, or from different texts, of course. And then, yeah, I mean, yeah, I think this is a good idea because I know a lot of people. So the reason now the other thing is, I want you guys, if you guys have the chance listen to Little Vibes music. He's actually a guy that makes
Let's
music
get
about
this
every.
knowledge.
Yeah, he's actually the guy that makes music about everything that we basically talk about. Everything,
Oh,
all the stuff, and it's with hip hop beats and stuff like that. It's really good music. Let's see. Let me
Yeah,
play.
add me on Facebook, Lorenzo
Yeah,
Navarez.
I'm gonna play.
I'll be back, guys. 2 seconds.
Yeah, like I want anybody who's watching this to like go ahead and add me on Facebook and
No,
follow me
I'm
on
gonna play a
all the
little
stuff
snippet
I be
real quick.
updating.
I'm gonna play a little snippet real quick of what he does because I think this would be good for his music would be good for when we start our stuff. The he had let me
Like what's his name? Teddy Bass, like Teddy Bass. Teddy Bass.
I'm about to do something. I'm about to here we go. Yeah, this would be the perfect one right here. Let me turn on my Bluetooth on my thing. Because like you said, we're about to end this and that's good. Let me make sure that you can
That's
hear
what's
this.
up.
So, also, I was wondering, Tyrone, if I can send you one of my translations on the PDF file, could you open it and share the screen and then just scroll all the way down to the end until you find the Greek? So that's what I want to show some people too. So that way they don't just have my translation, but they have the Greek with it. And
so that's
warning to anyone that doesn't want to translate it themselves, they're going to come across let's say 80% of spelling mistakes within the biblical text. They mess up quite a lot.
Dang, my Bluetooth ain't working on my.
But another reason is most likely the authors were speaking outside their native language, or more than likely, which I agree with. So a lot of people weren't able to read and write. So that was seen as magical and ability. So very few could. And so people weren't as educated back then. And some people might be able to speak multiple different languages and then trying to put that onto a piece of paper or papyrus or engraving it quite difficult. Yeah, I'll send you this anyway.
It won't let me. Yeah, it won't let me play it. I don't know why my thing's not connecting. It's crazy. Let me see something.
So send it to you on Twitter or Facebook.
Uh, shit, you can just send it to me through Facebook.
No worries, I did both. Better do this one. That way you can share the screen and show the actual Greek text that I've sent it on the group, and I'll send it to your personal profile too. So it's on free.
Justin Sledge Esoterica is also.
I can probably show it on my screen, like with my phone, but it'd be better on big screen.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. See, yeah, it won't let me play through my Bluetooth. That's weird for some reason. We'll have to update this stuff again.
So I made my translations on
it's
PDF file. So that's the English. You scroll down. I'll just get to the Greek. So I keep scrolling. And you got the Greek here. So it's chapter by chapter. So they can go check it out number by number and find exactly why I've translated it, why the alternative's there, because there are so many alternative translations within the Bible. And they messed up a lot of the times also because they weren't using biblical Greek. They were using modern Greek. Or they were attempting to use that and retranslate it back into Hebrew. And sometimes you find that with some Septuagint text because they want to hide so much. Now, the thing is, when they've retranslated back into Hebrew, they used modern Hebrew, not the same thing. The Septuagint was copied from the original Hebrew text that are now lost to time as well, for instance. So a lot of Christians haven't even read the Septuagint. When you see that, you'll clearly find missing text. You'll find different text. Again, you'll find these translations have been changed, and this is no different with the Gospels themselves. They have been butchered. I come across text that says gnosis means compound. No, it bloody doesn't. So, stuff like that. It's shocking how bad the translations are because they want to hide it from you.
Yeah, it's like it's like
also you also come across some uncomfortable things too. Sometimes you come across the word pierce, which can mean a young boy, pubescent boy, young girl, or even a slave lover that was a young child, or etc. They didn't have a word for homosexual in the ancient Greek world. So that was all put as. If you were practicing anal, you will put as in one category, whether you were male or female back then. And you will find some of this sort of stuff in these texts, which will make you feel uncomfortable. I'm not going to hide nothing. I will put it right there. There's even one particular text that can suggest that Jesus slept with his disciples, but that word doesn't mean that usually. And mostly I forgot what word it was, but usually in reference when it's a man and a woman sleeping together. But in otherwise, it actually means to be spiritually awakened. Or there's another one that meant to, was also to be touched, spiritually touched and spiritually transformed. I forgot the actual word for it. It's in the Gospels. I've got everything there.
Jesus says, come all ye with a weary heart, and I will give you rest. So if you have a weary heart, he will sleep with you.
Yeah. You know, you can translate sort of like that as well. But it's honestly about the inner rest. But but if you're gonna suggest it like that yourself, it's your own imagination. Obviously, I'm not going to tell people.
I mean, you can interpret it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Usually it's not the case, but I leave the alternative meanings in there to give people the power of the text for themselves. If they have questions, they can personally ask me, and I can tell you in this sort of reference.
Yeah, there's the concept of the page master again. Like it's you, you're the reader, you are the one to interpret it. It's all depends on the reader.
That's also what the gospel writers did too. When they were copying from those older texts, they were reinterpreting it to match their theology. So that's why the Gnostic was hidden.
Let me ask you this, because you said the word compound, right? You said that Gnostics doesn't mean compound, right?
Gnosis. Gnosis means knowledge, spiritual knowledge.
Okay, hold on. Let me see something. Because I just typed this into ChatGPT. I asked ChatGPT. I said, why would Gnosis be considered compound, or why would they say it was compound? So let me see if you would agree with this then. It says the connection between compound and Gnosis can be explored through symbolic and philosophical lens of Gnosis itself. Layered knowledge. The term gnosis refers to spiritual or esoteric knowledge often acquired through deep insight or mystical experience. It is not a simple or superficial understanding, but a profound and multifaceted realization that this layered compounded, and let me bring this up for you. So
I can
that we use
understand that's sort of essentially a compound as well, but a compound can be anything. It can be me lifting up a compound of drugs.
Also,
So,
look up, ask ChatGPT, epignosis.
but yeah, like even I had a spiritual concept, it's still showing the author come across the word gnosis and could have still choose to use knowledge or whatever, but still chose to use compound in the way of hiding the text in English.
Epignosis, Epignosis.
It's like when the word leistes in some English text they claim it means thief. Listus in modern Greek means robber, which is something different. But leistes can mean robber, plunderer, but it's in reference to piracy or rebels or revolutionists. So it's usually in response to violence, and they won't tell you that it means that for that instance. I've come across a few words that they've done. Even the word manger, when it says Jesus born in the manger in Luke, I think that's a big oopsies on the translator's account because that word was it? I've written it down. Fatney means guest room or inn or even a feeding trough. So it's more than likely because they went to the inn and the lodging was full, Jesus was born in the guest room, more likely than out with animals. And those shepherds can also translate to pastors, which is a priest. So, and that would match up with the Gospel of Matthew being the Magi.
And
so all the Gospels contradict themselves. Yeah, so they never agree with each other. Different authors, and the Gospels themselves don't just have one author each. There are multiple different authors. There's probably like a mixture of 30 different authors in the Bible itself. Maybe 60.
Now I'm interested in where you get the compounded stuff. Who said that? Who said that it was compounded? I want to see what
that was in Bible Hub on one of the Greek texts. I forgot exactly what one it was. I wish I took note on that because that was when I was translating, I believe, the Gospel of Matthew. And when they, with that regard, it was only on it was only on Bible Hub that they used the word compound, and other English texts didn't see it. But the way they did it, again, it was censorship. That's the way I sort of come across it. If they want to compound, then yes, you can, because compound is in the text, not in that particular one, though. It was in reference with lifting up the compound to Jesus, basically, which was the sponge, which was a toilet brush. So, also, that was also seen as symbolic, too, if you want to claim that as the mother of the deep. So, even the sponge was seen to be belonging to its murky mother.
Type in epignosis.
Hold on.
In ChatGPT, type in epignosis.
Epignosis.
But still, in regards to that text with compound, I remember a little bit of it. It was, and with compound, I think it was, but text in other ones is, and with gnosis, and with knowledge, spiritual knowledge. So I forgot the whole text itself. But if I found it, I'll put down. I have to go through. But as I said, that was on one of my previous works on translation. If they go through, they could find it and match it on Bible Hub anyway. So that's what the text is there for. So people can go through it, they can challenge it, they can construct it their way. But either way, I've put it there with alternative translations so they can double check the Greek meanings of the words and they can find why those words I chose to keep in there and not just have one word. Sometimes it's not good to do that one word because then you're saying that this can only be read one way. And the person that translated it now wasn't there 1,800 years ago or whatever, And those people that are translating it weren't eyewitnesses either. And if you read the Gospel of Luke in the beginning, it even states that this is basically not written by Luke. It says that many have tried to wrote down these accounts from several eyewitnesses and that this was given to them by authority. So meaning that this is not Luke, this was given to them by teachings of someone else.
It's one word, epignosis. Epignosis.
Hold on, what is it? What I said? I thought you said epic. What'd you say?
Epignosis.
Oh. I thought you said epic for some reason.
No.
What? Oh, here we go.
Epignosis. implies knowledge that goes beyond more intellectual understanding. It suggests a fuller, more comprehensive grasp of a subject or truth, often involving experience or personal insight. The theological context in the New Testament, epignosis is frequently used to describe knowledge of God, Christ, or spiritual truth. It indicates a relational and transformative understanding, not just factual knowledge. Yeah, so there's even verses right here, Colossians, that you may be filled with the knowledge, epignosis, of his will in all spiritual wisdom and understanding. Peter, his divine power has given us everything we need for life and godliness through the knowledge, epignosis, of him who called us. So epignosis is another term, but
And Jesus even uses the word gnosis as well several times in the Bible.
Yeah, it's all throughout the Bible. You'll see gnosis and epignosis, but epignosis is more referring to God's knowledge, like knowledge of God. See, yeah, in Gnostic or esoteric traditions, epignosis might signify the ultimate realization or enlightenment, an intimate and profound understanding of the divine, the self, and the cosmos.
You also come across cosmos as well a lot of times in the Greek text of the New Testament, and most times they'll just tell you it means like world. It's true, it does mean world, but it also can mean universe, realm as well. So it can also mean a universal system, universal law.
The process of gaining wisdom or mastery in any field through experience and reflection. It highlights the difference between knowing about something and truly knowing it through direct engagement and understanding. Conclusion. Epignosis represents a higher, fuller form of knowledge, one that is precise, experiential, and transformative. In spiritual context, it often describes a deep relationship with divine truth, leading to profound personal change and alignment with a higher purpose. Epignosis.
All right. That's where we're going to end it at. And just so everybody, that's the best.
Oh, I like this view right here. This is nice view we got right here. This is kind of cool.
But so for now on, we're going to be doing videos. What's our next discussion? Because this is just to get people, if they already seen the videos, they already know what you want to do. They already know what you want to present. So the next step is, how can they reach you if they want to have a discussion or share something with you?
So we are going to be launching the GnosticChristian.org. It's pretty much, it's pretty much up and ready to go, but it's really not. It's got a few bugs, but you can also find us on the Gnostic Union Facebook page.
Some things also need to be edited as we transferred some stuff from the old page, like say
pricing. We're going to be uploading some more things pretty soon, and also you can reach Nathan at spirituallevelofbeing@gmail.com.
Also on my YouTube, or we can find us on Facebook too, on the Gnostic Union.
I'm the Occult Corner at gmail.com, and then Tyrone at the rebirth of the word at gmail.com. And I got a new title. I don't even know how to pronounce it, but I'm gonna. Yeah, that's what's up.
But I'm gonna end it real quick.
On his doctorate, and then on his way to be a bishop.
Right on.
And hopefully some more will come as well. So, and we'll start up a big thing going.
This was fun, guys. Heck yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Always. Y'all take it easy.